understand, Mr. Tacopina, you have no additional witnesses?
Correct. One over, Paul has a good suggestion, maybe this will work. We are happy to add, if you would like, in the sentence, equals 32 did not come from a proctor. If that's the case, it's exactly what you want.
Just a second. Okay, we're just gonna make, just we call our expert real quick. We're trying to save time, if possible.
Let's,
No, hold on.
let's do it after the jury has left.
Okay. Because we're not coming back to one, can't be the one for me.
But wait, if we agree on the stipulation,
Then we would read it and then.
we agree to it, and you do the charge, and then they could leave good,
Oh, that's
right? But we're gonna make them leave.
Well, we're gonna have to go through instructions.
Okay, today is supposed to be closing arguments. So what they're going through right now is trying to determine what are the parameters going to be
They gotta leave for the day.
for jury instructions and the flow of the day.
How long will you anticipate it will take us to? Okay, thanks.
I have a pretty good grasp on jury instructions. I'll listen to what you both have to say. It shouldn't take more than to go through the jury instructions and reading into the jury.
He said we're trying to save time. We would love for you to save time. It's taking forever. So we want to find out who is this mystery witness, y'all, that they're supposed to have today. Is it going to be Relly's girlfriend? That would be amazing. Good morning, y'all. So we're finding out.
Discuss with Mr. Mayor's his right to testify.
Yes.
Have you also discussed his right not to testify?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Mr.
God, I
Mayor,
think it's gonna
do
be
you hear what
ASAP.
Mr. Tacopina just said?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you agree with what he just said?
Absolutely.
You understand that you have a right to get on the stand and give your side of the case. You understand and accept that.
I do understand, and I'm not.
Also,
Do not
you
do
have a
it.
right under the Fifth Amendment to the United States Constitution not to testify. You cannot be compelled to testify.
Don't do
It's
it.
totally your decision to either get on the stand or waive your right to testify and not testify. You understand that?
I understand.
Okay, which right do you wish to take advantage of? The one to testify or the one to not testify?
I'm on my right to not testify.
Yes! Yay!
Do you in fact waive your right to testify in this case?
I do in fact, Your Honor.
Counsel Jordan?
Yes!
I believe that Mr. Mayor's waiver is knowingly true and voluntary. I accept. All right, let's have the jury come in.
So y'all see how that
They'll
goes.
be
The
told there
jury does
may
not
be
get
a
to hear
witness
the
at
fact that
1:30.
he chose not to testify. They don't get to
In
hear
the
it.
interim, the defense, you can ask for your exhibits to be admitted. I understand there's going to be no objection. The people have one additional exhibit. That will be moved in. Then I want to give the jury a 45-minute break. In that period of time, we will discuss the jury instructions informally. After which, we will come out and formalize them on the record. After that, I will read the jury
Praise the
instructions
Lord.
to the jury. At some point, if the jury instructions go beyond 1:30, I'll stop reading jury instructions, so the remaining witness, if he testifies, we can take him out of order, and then I will resume the jury instructions. And that will be all for the day. Summations will be on Thursday. Is that the understanding?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir, you mentioned another exhibit from people going there.
Yeah, they marked a DVD. It's the DVD from Complex.
Oh. So it was something that, that's it.
Hold up. Y'all heard that? They talked about if there's an additional witness, it would be a he. I think it would be Ills. I think it would be Ills. I can't think of any other he.
All right, let's have the jury.
Unless they're going to bring back someone, like bring back Wally or bring back Relly. Please, God, don't bring back Relly. And to clarify, closing arguments they just said are going to be Thursday. So I thought it would be closing today, but I'll have to adjust the thing. It looks like closing will be Thursday. They said summation is Thursday. Yeah, I thought the he they were referring to would be Rocky, which is why I was gasping for air. Like head to the knob. Oh shit. Hold on, let me turn my camera back on. Oh, this is gonna be juicy. But what the hell else do they have? There's nothing else to discuss, y'all. Close it up, wrap it up. Hit that like button too. Hit that like button. Oh Lord, there's so much mess going on. I was hoping today too. I was hoping that it would be, oops, here we go. I was hoping it would be today as well.
Record, our jurors have returned. All parties and counsel are present. I understand that Mr. Tacopina, that there are no additional witnesses to be called by the defense.
Yes, Your Honor, the defense rests in the case and
All right, that would be A through EE. Any objection to A through EE? No, Your Honor. A through EE are admitted for the jury's consideration. There was one remaining exhibit that the people marked, which was number 44.
Nobody else.
People's 44 into evidence as well, Your Honor.
No objection? All right, all of the exhibits are admitted for the jury's consideration. What's going to happen now is, I wasn't sure if we were going to have more witnesses or not. There may be one at 1:30, I don't know. But, so we don't waste a lot of time. We are going to talk about the jury instructions informally in the office. That'll take about half hour, thereabouts. Once we're finished, then we're going to have you come back into the courtroom, and I'm going to read the jury instructions. If there is a witness at 1:30, if I am still reading the jury instructions, I'll stop the jury instructions. The witness will testify. Once the witness is finished, then I'll resume the jury instructions. The jury instructions are going to take me about 35, 40 minutes to read.
We don't want to hear that.
Note takers, there's no reason to take notes because each one of you is going to get a package of jury instructions in the jury deliberation room. And as long as I'm talking about jury deliberations, you will not be deliberating in the jury deliberation room on this floor. You will be deliberating in the jury deliberation room in Department 115, which is on the 11th floor. So when you finally begin deliberations, you'll be escorted to the 11th floor into the jury deliberation room. Department 115 is my normal courtroom. So that's where you'll be deliberating. Once you arrive at a verdict, the verdict will be read here in 102. Okay? Yes. All right, so it's 10:24. I'd like you all to come back at 11. Be outside the courtroom doors at 11, as close to that time as possible. I'll begin reading the jury instructions. So there's no reason I won't be able to finish before 12. So leave all your materials on your desk. Remember, do not talk about the case. The case is not over. You have not been released to deliberate yet. So keep everything to yourself. All right, we'll see you at about 11. I'll stay in the back. What?
Your Honor?
Yes, ma'am.
No disrespect intended. Could you, I don't know, that's why I'm asking this question. What happens with the alternates?
Oh, no, that's a very good question. Once the jury begins to deliberate, you and the other three alternates, you will not be in the jury deliberation.
Right, I understand.
You will have to be close by because if we need to summon you, you need to be here in short order. You will only go into the jury deliberation room if one of the jurors has to leave the case. But you will be in the jury box during jury instructions and during summations.
And can I just get a clarification for what you mean by close by? Are we allowed to go home?
No. You can be, I would want you to be able to be here in 5 minutes. You can be in the hallway, you can be in the jury assembly room, you can be in the cafeteria. But if we need you quickly.
Okay.
All right, we'll see everybody at 11. Come on back, let's go back. Proper record.
All right. Let me mute that one. All right, guys. So here's what's up. So someone asked a great question. Well, what's supposed to happen for the next 2 days? And also, why didn't I want to do the instructions? The instructions are just long. I can play it for you guys. So, and what I love about California is California posts the instructions. Actually, let me clarify that. I think they post the instructions after a verdict has come in. But basically, the instructions, what's cool about them is it explains to the jurors what they're supposed to consider, what they can't consider. It breaks down the elements as well. He said it's going to be about 30 minutes. So that is kind of boring, but I don't mind playing that for you guys. I probably just won't give too much commentary at the time. I am interested in seeing who would be the witness at 1:30. So it would be 1:30 California time, 3:30 Central, 4:30 Eastern. Let's talk about that witness real quick, and I'll go back to the jury instructions. I heard them say he, if we have someone would be a he, the defense has rested. So what that means is if there's one more witness, it's going to be a prosecution witness. So we already know we're going to have Mr. Lewin, who like to get to hollering, hooping and hollering, trying to bring some concept home. Now, I know he was upset previously about one of the witnesses and claimed he may need more time to interview that witness. I believe that was Wally. So either way, it appears that it would be the prosecution. It absolutely would be the prosecution if we have somebody today at 1:30, and it would be a prosecution witness. And we don't know if it would be a new person or an old person coming back where he felt like he wasn't given enough time to interview that person. Either way, I'm like, this is goofy. Feels real goofy. And so, yes, the defense has rested, and Rocky said he was not taking the stand. I was so nervous he was going to take the stand. I was like, no, don't you do it. That was not going to be helpful. Yeah, there's a possible witness. So tomorrow, I don't know what'll happen. I guess tomorrow would just be a day off. And then Thursday would be closing arguments, is what they said. So it wouldn't actually be closing arguments today. Today is jury instructions, that final witness, if there is a witness, and then I guess giving people a break. It said even the alternates are fed up. Yes. Please head to SimoneRedwine.com if you'd like to book a consult. I'm having so much fun with these consults, you guys. From various things to, people had certain business ideas that we're fleshing out, and legally determining how to approach them, to trademark issues, considering trademarking different Instagram names, websites, etc., and finding out what's the best way to go about doing that. I really enjoy these consultations. So I do consultations for people across the nation. And they start at $149 for 30 minutes. So I really enjoy those. You can go to SimoneRedwine.com to book. Oh yeah, the lady was like, I need to go to Bakersfield and get there. Right yesterday, the lady, one of the jurors, was like, I need to be in Bakersfield by 6:00. Yeah, them jurors are not with it. No verdict today. The verdict is going to be, it's going to have to be sometime after Thursday, on or after Thursday, due to Thursday being closing arguments. And I'm just really curious. This would be a state witness at this point. I feel like the state at this point probably just wants to be the last person in the mind of the jury. But you don't want to do that if you're not doing a good job. Right now, they're not. Right now, they're not. Angela said, if he yells louder, he'll win. No, he's pretty terrible at this point. Yes, here we go. Ooh. Yeah, there we go. All right, guys. So let me know in the chat. Do y'all want to hear the jury instructions? They're going to come back at 11, which would be, 11. 30 more minutes would be jury instructions. You know what? Here's what we need to do. Why don't we do this while we're waiting? Since we're waiting, and the way my ADD is set up, I need a beverage though. I need a beverage. Why don't we do this? Okay, we got 190 people in the chat. I'm thinking I need like an accountability partner, and I've been saying I was going to finalize these certain story times. Maybe while we're waiting, since we got 30 minutes, I'll do the story time. I'll let you guys vote in the chat. Hold on, I'm gonna make a poll. I'll do a story time for you guys real quick. We'll call it Sidebar while we're waiting, because we're waiting. Y'all let me know how you like it, and we'll go from there. I can either, okay, which story time would y'all want? Either the time my boyfriend called the cops on me, that man, or the time I fell in love with an international drug dealer. Which story should I give? And I'll do it. I'm going to give you the story time right now, and then later I'll pull it out, edit it, and I'll repost it separately. So we got 190 in the chat. Which one should I do? Should I do it right now? Or should I record it privately? Sidebar. Second one, international drug dealer. Yeah, you know what? It's Valentine's week. I should give this story of the international drug dealer. Hold on, let me make a little banner. Oh, hold on. Okay. Okay, there we go. Hold on. Because why not? Because it's about to be Valentine's Day. Somebody said, I'm new to your channel. You're beautiful and smart. Oh, thank you. You know what? Okay, give me one quick second. I am going to I'm gonna start the story, but my lips is feeling a little ashy. Okay, so let me give me a little chapstick real quick. Oh, give me a quick second. Y'all, this cough is killing me. It's killing me. Oh, good. All right. One time my lips was so ashy, like when it was really cold last month, I couldn't find no chapstick. I had to put KY jelly on my lips. Oh, it's very strange. It's very strange. Oh, wait, let me do this. There we go. All right, so we're gonna have a quick story time as we are waiting. Somebody said they want to know about both, but definitely a second. I'll start with the drug dealer story. Hold on. All right. Okay. So this is a story of how I fell in love with an international drug dealer and had an affair with a little drug lord. All right. So I was minding my business in a third world country. I was prancing around the beach of Jamaica, Montego Bay, when I see this guy and I'm like, oh, he is so handsome. And he's with a group of other guys. So I just prance around with my little girlfriends. And whenever I want to meet like a new guy, especially if I'm traveling, my international pickup line is as follows. Hey, y'all. So I always do, hey, y'all, because hey, y'all is like, it's like a greeting. It's pleasant. And you can't really get rejected from a hey, y'all, you know, it's like hello. And so I said, hey, y'all. And they go, hello, hello. They were British. And so I was like, well, what brought you gentlemen to town? This is Montego Bay, Jamaica, mind you. Like, I'm really acting like I know where I'm at and whatever. I'm there for a wedding. So I'm like, oh, what brought you boys to town? And they're like, oh, we're here on holiday. And it's like 5 of them, right? Good looking, all black guys. And the one that I like, he looks so like, oh, he looked like mysterious and stuff. He got a little hat on and stuff. And, you know, they're European. And he was like, oh, what's your name? And I introduced, I was like, oh, I'm Simona. Because whenever I travel internationally, I'm Simona because a lot of people don't know how to pronounce Simone properly. So I'm like, oh, I'm Simona. So I was like, well, what are you? I said, oh, how long have you guys been here? Because I had only been there for like 2 or 3 days and was leaving soon. They were like, oh, we've been here for 2 weeks. I was like, 2 weeks? I said, well, what do you guys do? And they're like, we work for ourselves. I was like, damn, y'all must sell some real good drugs. And then they looked at each other and they busted out laughing. And I was like kind of serious, but kind of not. Because I'm like, this was the month of February. And I'm like, who can just take 2 weeks of holiday in the middle of the year? Because see, in their culture, you take holiday generally in the summer. So like middle of the year, you're 2 weeks off. Y'all are some fine black men on the beach of Jamaica. Y'all probably like, you know, lift a little weight or whatever they call it. I don't know. I never, mind you, I went to Catholic school. My first boyfriend is like a doctor and all that stuff. So like I never had a thug stage. So this was it. So we exchanged numbers. And he was like, oh, would you like something to drink? So we walk over to the beach bar. And I was like, sure. And he gets up and girl, he got all these coochie cutters. I was like, oh, I see you with them coochie cutters. He was like, what? I was like, coochie cut, like, and I was like coochie cutters. He didn't know what I was talking about, but he thought everything I said was funny due to the fact that I have this big old accent, right? So we have a good time. And then he's like, hey, well, our apartment is over here. We have more drinks. We're going to be vibing out. What do they call it? Liming, something like that. We're going to go over there and hang out. I was like, cool. So me and my girl, we go over and we hang out at their apartment. It was basic. I mean, it looked totally like a drug dealer's pad. You know, it had that each has separate rooms. It was cool. So I go over there. Like, I don't really know what he does, but I really don't care because he's buying drinks. He ain't asking me for shit. And at this point, you know, I've dealt with some real regulars. This was like, I'm not even going to say what year it was because I don't want people to know who this person was. Bless his little heart. But I was dealing with some like real questionable men at this point. Questionable from the perspective of like character, not other areas. So I go, we hang out at the room and they're like, yeah, let's go out later tonight. And I was like, cool, sure. So we link up. And now all of the guys, now one of the guys is supposed to be a paparazzi over there in London. Like none of their jobs are like real jobs. Mind you, one of them now, should I say this? One of them now is like a big time podcaster in Great Britain. And like he was caught with like 10 kilos or something like that of weed going in between countries. I don't want to say too much because it's Googleable. And so like all I'm saying is like this is what they all do. All right. So we're hanging out. We're having a good time. He asked me to go out later. We meet. We go to the club later. And then he's coming back to the room. He comes back. We have a great time. And he's just like, this is wonderful. So I'm the queen of background checks. So before I go out with him though, I say, hey babe, I need to take a picture of your ID and I'm going to send it to my girlfriends. That way ain't going to be no Natalie Holloway over here. Okay. I'm not going to come up missing. That way, if I come up missing, my girlfriends will be like, oh, she was with so-and-so. So he's like, oh, that's weird. We don't really do that in my country, but okay. So he let me take a picture of his ID. So that made me think maybe he's not so much of a drug dealer because like drug dealers don't really like you to know their identity, but whatevs. Also, when I told him, when he asked me what I did and I said lawyer, they were like, oh, and they all dapped each other up. They were like, oh, we might need you. And I'm like, oh, okay. What for? Interesting. But they were all cool. I was with my girls initially. I was with one of my homegirls when I was hanging out with them at their apartment. I was never by myself. But that night, he wanted to go to the club, us two. So that's where, took a picture of the ID, gave it to my homegirls, right? So we go out to the club. I bring him back to my Airbnb. And he hangs out. He stays there and everything. And my girls were like, oh, so how was it? I was like, oh my gosh, girls, he was amazing. He was so sweet. He was all this great stuff. So I then do the background. I was having so much fun. I didn't do the background check beforehand. I do the background check after he's left. And I'm like, ah! An article comes up. This article says that at age 17, he was caught with 50,000 pounds worth of crack cocaine and heroin. 50,000 pounds. So I holler, I do the background check. I'm looking at it on my phone and I'm like, ah! And my homegirls that I'm with the Airbnb, they're like, what is it? What is it? And I was like, oh my God, this article says at age 17, he was caught with 50,000 pounds of crack cocaine and heroin. Now, mind you, he's like 32 at this point because I checked the ID. And they were like, oh my God. And I was like, oh my God, what amazing leadership skills. If that's the kind of weight he was moving at 17, he should have a conglomerate at this point. I was so excited for his potential growth. I was like, oh my gosh, hopefully he's like legit now. We can put that money in Bitcoin. There's so much we can do. We can buy properties. I've always wanted a Miami property. And my homegirl looks at me. She's like, bitch, what the fuck is wrong with you? You had this criminal in our Airbnb. I was like, well, technically he's not a criminal anymore. That occurred when he was 17. And mind you, part of the reason the article was the big art, mind you, all I did was Google his name. And this was like a big deal because apparently when he got sentenced, now he only got sentenced to 2 years. That's a good little amount of time. Like you're not even gay yet. Like if you're not gay when you go, if you can do 2 years without gayness. But when we get into like the double digits, like if he had been in there like 10 years, 7, 8 years, I'd be like, oh, he's probably like 49% gay. Which, if you know me, I'm okay. I need you to be like 32% gay or less. Like my gaydar, like don't like 32 or less. Because as we know, I used to date one of Diddy's sex workers. That was a guy. Anyway, so my girlfriends are like, why did you bring this man to our place knowing good and well that he has, I was like, well, I didn't know. I didn't Google him until after. But guys, you're looking at it wrong. Like, we need to look at this with the glass half full. We need to look at it with the Bentley half full. Okay. We need to look at it with the cash paid off flats half full flats. That's what they live in over there. So I was like, it's fine, guys. It's fine. Like, we're having a love affair. It's totally fine. He sold those drugs at 17. Part of the reason it was all in the article, it was because when he got his sentence, he was only sentenced to 2 years. He and his homeboy busted out laughing in the courtroom and started high-fiving each other. He was silly, but he was only 17. So it's fine. It's fine. So then we kept in touch. So then I had to leave and I was like, oh my gosh, when am I going to see you again? He's like, well, I want to see you as soon as possible. I'll send for you to come visit me in London. They lived in London. So I was like, yes, boo. I was like, I own my own business. I have my own firm. So not only can I see you whenever, but, I'm like the cutest little tax deduction you ever gonna meet, boo. Because you could take me on a trip and you could write me off as a legal expense. Ow. He was like, oh, I love the way you think. I was like, yeah, because, I want to make sure he can get and stay legit. So my assumption, he's totally legit or we will be fine. So, baby, I met him. That was Saturday that I met him on the beach. Sunday, we had our little rendezvous. I left Monday. Baby, please tell me, we was on that phone, boo caking every day. Valentine's Day was that Thursday. He sent me a bouquet of flowers that arrived Wednesday and a ticket to London, baby. I said, I'm going, tell it ho. So I got on that plane, baby. I went to London. Let me tell you something. It was this trip was dangerous because I made some bad decisions. So I get to the airport, the flight is smooth. When I land in London, the line for like immigration and stuff is so long. Now, I used to live in London. I lived there for like 6 months for study abroad. And I know they racist over there. And I'm watching people skip the line. And all these people are white. So I tapped one of them little airline workers at the immigration. I said, how come they get to skip me? She said, oh, because those are families. Families are allowed to skip the line. Baby, I told her my back up like this. I said, well, I'm pregnant. Can I skip the line? Because it was taking a long time and my baby was missing me, okay? I had landed on that plane and he was missing me. So he kept saying like, he was waiting for me on the other side. And he was like, hey, are you coming? Like, what's taking so long? So I told that immigration, I was like, well, I'm pregnant. Can I go through the family line? They were like, yeah, cut the line, baby. I cut about an hour from my immigration wait. The only thing I was nervous about, I was like, oh God, I don't want karma to make me pregnant for real with this international stranger. So that's neither here nor there. I get through. He's waiting for me. He hugs me, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, where are we staying? Because I know he lives in the outskirts. I won't say where because if you know him, you know. But he lives in the outskirts. But he got a room for us special in London. Like, it was a really cool hotel in London. And then he got us a rental. He was like, oh, yeah, I had to switch out the rental. So I'm piecing this stuff together. Like, switch out the rental. Now, what he tells me he does for a living, by the way, he tells me he's in construction. He does contracting. He fixes up and flips properties. Now, especially if you ever meet men in Atlanta, that is one of the things that men tell you that they do when they really just sell drugs, because you get fewer questions. People are like, oh, real estate, great. So he was like, I'm in real estate. And I'm like, okay, cool. Whatever. You're paying for everything. I'm coming, right? At this point, I have his address. My friends back home know where I'm at. Baby, I'm having the time of my life. I'm posting hashtag 90-day fiance. He's taking me out. We going places. But he keeps switching out his rental. And I'm overhearing some conversations. And I'm like, okay. He's switching out the rental. He switched out the rental like I'm there for a week. He switched out the rental like twice. Like, interesting. Then we go link up with his homeboys that from Jamaica that we seen in Jamaica, all of whom were on holiday in the middle of February. And one of them live in the projects, but the projects in London are nice. Literally, the project looks like a brownstone. But I'm like, I think this is the projects. Just because, like, you can see the accoutrements. Like, it wasn't no granite countertops or nothing like that. I said, I think we're in the projects. But it was nice projects, but that makes sense. Like, drug dealers live in projects so they can just maintain their territory. That's what I learned from BMF and Power. And so I was like, oh gosh, really? I am okay. All right. So I was like, okay, so his boys are okay. But one of the boys said he was like a soccer coach or something like that. So I was like, oh, okay, that's probably why you're poor. Now, I also realized it was probably the projects because there was like a sign as you enter that said this building is owned by the government of something, 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 the ministry of something, something for poor people. I don't really know what it was called. Yeah. I was like, okay, yeah. So I was like, I think I'm in the projects. Well, this is like a little cultural visit. You know, he took me out to eat. We went to these nice places. But then one of the night, apparently, because he had spent this time with me. So then we get to like Saturday night. He spent this time with me. And apparently back where he lives, because he doesn't live in London. He lived in like some other town that's like hours away. He had someone that was covering his route, so to speak, and somebody didn't do a drop off properly. So I hear him like cussing and fussing somebody out. And I'm supposed to be in the shower. So he waits till I'm in the shower. He's cussing and fussing this person out. I'm like, oh my God. I was like, oh my gosh. And he's like, you cost me thousands. I need this connect and blah, blah, blah. You said you were going to do, and he's going off, boo, like off. And I was like, oh my God, this doesn't sound like the construction worker I thought I was falling in love with. But that's neither here nor there. Now, mind you, so they work that out. He takes me out. We're going out. I'm sending pictures to my girls back home. Like, oh my gosh. And when I tell you this man is fine, he is fine. Okay. He's so good. He's like, I like men with good bone structure. Does he have it? Yes. He had nice bone structure because good bone structure, when a guy has good bone structure, what it means is like a nice nose, chiseled face, like nice features. I think of Tyson Beckford, Tay Diggs, Morris Chestnut. That's good bone structure. And you want that because everybody gets fat one day. And then that way, if he gets fat on you or something, he'll look like cute little Teddy Ruxpin. Okay, like Teddy Ruxpin. Google it if you don't know about him. He's like a little doll from our childhood. As opposed to you rolling over, looking at this little mongrel who's probably going to get older, going to get cranky, going to do all these things. I'm like, I don't want you. This guy had excellent bone structure. He was so handsome. So I'm sending pictures to my girl Whitney. I grew up with from San Antonio. Girl, Whitney is a fool. And Whitney was like, oh my God, girl, he's fine. She go, girl, he fine. Get pregnant by him. I'm like, Whitney, I cannot do that. His wages aren't even garnishable. So like this whole time, like I'm enjoying myself. And I'm really like, but I'm kind of thinking about it a little bit. Because at this point, I'm in my mid-30s, early 30s. And I don't have any children. But I'm like, seriously, I'm not about to get pregnant by nobody's wages. I can't garnish. Like it'd be bad enough to be a single mom. But then to be a single mom and poor, running around, like I can't even take trips and cruises and stuff because I can't even go down to the courthouse and get a little this or that from your employer. Why? Because you're an international drug dealer. You don't have one. You're self-employed. No, my kids are going to have to go to underfunded public schools running around with you. So then the next day I went and I bought a Plan B because I thought about what she said and she was right. Well, apparently over there, and I was like, okay, how does this even work? He was like, don't worry, darling. I'll get it for you. He talks like that, but like it's like hood too, so I can't really emulate it. So he runs down and he tries to get me the Plan B. He was like, well, what kind do you want? I was like, I don't know, the kind that works on Americans. So he's like, I don't think it works that way. But I take the Plan B, I pop it, because again, I am terrified because I done lied at the airport. I done skipped the regular line to be in the family line. I done lied at the airport, told these people I was pregnant. Then I'm running around with this international drug dealer letting him love on me because let my dumb friend convince me that maybe I should let him get me pregnant a little bit because I don't have anything better to do. And at this point, I'm like a good 34. I don't know what time. So anyway, I take the Plan B and all is well. Okay, we have a great trip. He gets a little too high that night and tells me he loves me, but I loved it. I liked it. When he sobered up, I was like, oh my gosh, babe. So let's talk about our conversation last night. He was like, what conversation? And I was like, what, you told me you love me? He was like, I never said that. I was like, yes, you did. You were on drugs a little bit. He was like, stop saying that. It's weed. It's a spliff. Because like, it's a spliff. It's not drugs. And I was like, okay, well, whatever it was, it made you tell me you love me. And I said, well, I'm not there yet, but I just love the progress of where we're going. So I can't wait to talk about, you coming to visit me and everything in America. It's going to be great. So, wait a minute. Somebody said I'm openly admitted to being engaged in trafficking. Oh, no, he didn't traffic anything. I was there voluntarily, baby. I busted it wide open, threw it in a circle, threw it back, forward, left, right, side to side. There was no trafficking. If anything, I was the trafficker because I definitely tried to get that dick on a plane to come visit me in Dallas. That's neither here nor there. So we had a great trip. I was like so invigorated. I was like, this is great. And I was like, well, let's talk about your construction business. Like, I am really 90-day fianceing this bitch. Okay. I'm like, what can we do to get you in America? I'm so excited. When are you going to come visit? He was like, we'll talk about that when you get back. Let's just enjoy each other. Cool. We're enjoying each other. We get on back. And now I'm like, all right, I saw how concretely and quickly he planned for me to visit him. I met him on a Saturday. We hung out Saturday, Sunday. I left Monday. He had me a ticket. I think it was Tuesday. I flew out Thursday. Like, he was on it. And this was for Valentine's Day. It was the best Valentine's ever. So I get home, everything was great. I think everything is smoothed over, I guess, with his delivery guy. Now, I will say this. I did have concerns. Part of the other reason why I didn't want to let him impregnate me with, the non-garnishable wages and all, is I was like, well, what do you actually do? Like, I need you to have a stable job and income. Now, if you want to come over to America and like flip houses or something, we can do that because I can set you up with excellent credit, boo-boo, right? I can get you some good credit because you ain't even over here. Get you a little social security number type thing. Don't worry about it. I know how to do it. I was like, okay, we'll be fine. But I was like, but I just want to make sure you're totally good with being legit. Because he never acknowledged what he was doing, but I put it all together. See, the reason he kept switching out the rentals is so the popos wouldn't figure it out. Okay. And then he kept me in a hotel so that he didn't have me around his product. Oh my God, y'all, that's love. That's love. When a drug dealer loves you, he's not about to have you up in a trap house. Ew. When a drug dealer loves you, he's going to protect and provide. Okay? Just, you know what I mean. Protect and provide and not put you in no mess. Okay? So I really appreciate it. He kept me up in this nice London hotel. He had switched out his rental cars. My biggest concern was I just felt like, you've been selling drugs since you were 17. At 17, you were arrested for, having 50,000 pounds of crack cocaine and heroin. I just feel like at 32, your business plan should be more elevated. Perhaps use the dark web. Maybe only accept Bitcoin. I'm not sure, but I just felt like, because he was not a homeowner, I checked. What are the assets that we have to show for this? Because if any given day, the, British feds, whatever they're called, if they're called and we have to get you, a lawyer, because it's not going to be me, boo-boo. It's not going to be me. I need to know that there are assets that can be sold. You have rentals, your apartment's a rental. These are my concerns. Okay. These are my concerns. So anyhow, I come on back, but I'm like, we can come up with a business plan. You're going to come to America and be legit because I don't play that. You can flip houses in America. You can have your little drug dealers buy the houses on Bitcoin. You could do that now. And then at the time, there was no governmental questions on where the money came from. That was not my business. Not my business. Not my circus. So he was supposed to come visit me. And he's kind of slow rolling it. I was like, I thought we had a good trip. What's taking so? It's 2 weeks in. And I was like, so babe, what's the deal? How come you don't want to buy a ticket? Come visit. He was like, so about that. So the thing of it is, and this is while Trump was president, he was like, the thing of it is that I'm not allowed to come to America right now. I was like, why? He was like, well, I'm on probation. I said, for what? He was like, well, this dude stepped to me. He doesn't talk like that, but he was like, basically, the charge was having a bladed receptacle. So it was having a knife. So you know how we would get charged with, felon in possession for having a gun. His was a knife, and he's not allowed in the United States of America. I said, well, hold on. Let me look this up, right? Because I had concerns. I was like, we had this whole love affair. I almost let you give me a baby with ungarnishable wages. And this is why Jesus told me, don't let this man impregnate you. Take this plan B. Jesus gave me that plan B, by the way. That's how that worked out. Because Jesus knew, he's not even allowed over your country. He'll never see your baby. Your baby will really be a pastor. I don't like to say a pastor. He won't, I'll have to, literally, I'll take one of my gay homeboys and lie to this baby and be like, this your daddy. Your daddy is like gay a little bit, but he loves you all the way. And that's what will happen. Me and my gay homeboy, we will co-parent. That's what'll happen because I can't do this by myself. So he's telling me, I said, well, what is this for? So I look it up and it's technically a misdemeanor. I was like, well, maybe it's a misdemeanor. And whatever the felony that you had, it's been over 10 years. He was like, yeah, but my homeboy, he got a charge like this, flew all the way to America. When he was trying to go through customs, they sent his butt right back. I don't want to risk it. He was like, because I'm still on probation. I was like, baby, what? Why did you do me like this? You wasted my whole time. But then it was a free trip and I really enjoyed it. Plus he let me go shopping, took me shopping and stuff like that. So then I thought about it. I was like, this is my penance. Jesus is punishing me. Yes, I'm Jesus's favorite sinner, but clearly he's sick of my antics because he's clearly punishing me for running around with this fool internationally, having an international love affair with this drug dealer who I know good and well will never develop the type of business plan that I'm looking for in a husband, so to speak. And so ultimately our love affair did end at that point. But once I confirmed he is not allowed in America to this day. He has not set foot on U.S. soil. Now he go to Ibiza. He'll go over there to the Ibiza. He'll go to the Canary Islands. They love him in Ghana. He'll go all the way over there. But the United States of America, he's too scared to come because he can't get the paper clearance. So the moral of the story is do not get pregnant by nobody whose wages you cannot garnish. And don't fall in love with an international drug dealer, no matter how cute his bone structure is. Yes. I do still check. We still follow each other. Okay, so I'll answer questions about the story time. This is my first live story time. But yeah, somebody said, don't tell me you still check up. I sure do. And I'm friends with his friends. Like I said, they have a really good podcast. I'm gonna see next time I go to London. I'm gonna see if I can be on their podcast, but then I hope it don't give it away. Yeah, I check up on him. He's not aged so gracefully. I think he started doing some of the drugs a little bit. Oh God, I don't want to hear this. Like when I say not aged so gracefully, he looks really stressed and tired. He might have just had a bad girlfriend at the time. I don't want to hurt his feelings. Oh, what celebrity does he look like? Shamar Moore. Shamar Moore with some coochie cutters on. Hoochie daddy shorts in them hoochie daddy shorts. Yes, Shamar Moore. Yes, his hair is a little more straight. He's mixed like that. His hair is a little more straight like that. But yes, Shamar Moore. Oh, yeah, let me check on the trial. Hold on, let me check on the trial. They should be back. Okay, they're not back yet. But they'll be back soon. Hold on, they'll be back soon. Hold on, let me just do it like this. Because we are here for the trial. I'm just entertaining you. This is just a little sidebar. We're going to call it sidebar. I'm going to split this story time off and also make it a separate post. I ask that you guys just share it with your homegirls. Because I need to get my YouTube funds back up. So I don't have to sound no pussy. I'm not above it. But I'd rather not. Shamar is perfection. Yes, ungarnishable wages or not, you'd go with Shamar. Shamar is gorgeous. Thank you, course correction. She said my baby would have been so cute. Yeah, I mean, and he's so sweet. And I like a man with leadership skills, right? So the fact that I met him on Saturday, we had our little Saturday love affair. Sunday, I went home. He sent me that ticket. He had to send me, if I'm on the plane on Thursday, he had to have bought the ticket. He bought the ticket Tuesday, sent me flowers to my house on Wednesday. That man was on it. You hear me? He was on it. Let me search him right now and see. Hopefully he don't have no more new charges. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, yeah, this the article. Drug dealers laughed and slapped after they were put behind bars. Oops, shoot. Did I spell that right? No, he's good. He ain't did nothing. And let me just be very clear, you guys. The statute of limitations on everything I'm discussing has expired. So don't think you about to call him up and tell him nothing. The statute of limitations has expired. We are good to go. And he's just a good person. Yes. But baby, if he could get over here, we right here, baby. We gonna get legit. He said he was open to getting legit. He just said he would always do some dodgy shit. That's what he got. He said, babe, he didn't say babe. He's like, I'll always be in some dodgy shit, right? I'll always do some dodgy shit. And I was like, dodgy? Dodgy means like crooked. I'm like, I don't want you to be crooked. Yeah, other people hated it. I hated it work out. I'm not so mad just because he's still not no homeowner. And I'm like, baby, if you gonna flip some shit, flip it into some assets. Get you some mineral rights, get you some ground rights, oil and gas rights, air and space rights. Get you some house mineral rights. That's what I need you to have. Yes, be straight for me. I'll give you a nice little life. I was gonna 90-day fiance that bitch real good, but once I put 2 and 2 together, and mind you, he never told me that that's what he did. I just kind of put 2 and 2 together. I said, well, we probably shouldn't be on no TV screen. No, we don't need them people coming back for you. He has one child. He has a child who's like a teenager now. Very cute, very cute. No investment properties, but he travels all the time. I'm like, I need you to not do that. Yeah. It was a real ghetto love affair. The next story time I'm going to pull this out. I'll repost it for Valentine's Day. And then I'm going to post another one is that time my boyfriend called the cops on me. Him. He's a terrible person. He did. He called. Can you believe? Why would you do that? Why would you call the cops on me knowing I'm good and well I'm a lawyer? That you could ruin my career. I hadn't even paid off all my student loans at that point. Why would you do that? Because you a hoe. That's why. You a hoe. He was a terrible person. People are like, why did he call the cops on you? Because he was a hoe ass nigga. And that's what niggas do. Terrible. I should have known. That was the first and last time I've intentionally dated an ugly man. Ever since then, I don't date no more ugly men. We waiting on the trial to start, guys. We are waiting on the trial to come back. In the meantime, I was just doing a little sidebar. Okay. Yeah, I do have stories today. I do have stories for days. You were looking at Ready to Love? All right, so here we go. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. All right, so where we are with this, okay. Wait. Yeah, the court should be resuming any moment now. Where we are with trial today is they're about to read jury instructions. We're going to have jury instructions today. And we may have one last witness at 1:30. Wait, somebody said ugly men don't treat. No. So they do. Here's the problem with ugly men. Ugly men like to get pretty girls. It's an ego stroke. And so what happens sometimes is they're super insecure. Like, I get the theory. The theory is they're less likely to cheat because they'll be very grateful to have you. But what I've also seen is they're so insecure that they consistently need affirmation from women and to know that women find them attractive. When we don't find you attractive, we just like your money. We want your coins. Give us all your dough. If you give me money, I will give you attention. And so they frequently want that. So is ASAP going to testify today? No, thank goodness. So earlier today, we watched the clip where they asked him and explained to him his right to testify. We were terrified. I was terrified that he was going to say yes and blow the case. He did not, thank goodness. Wait. Beauty is Me said ugly men don't cheat. It started to which it said, yes, they ugly asses too. They've not done jury instructions. When they come back now, so they're 5 minutes late. They were supposed to start 5 minutes ago. They're supposed to start with the jury instructions. Gracie said, yeah, they do cheat. When they get you, they forget they're ugly. That is so true. And you know what else I've noticed? You being an attractive girl and stuff, it makes other girls want him now that they see him with you. That happened in college. I dated this guy who looks like a mix between LeBron James and R. Kelly. And then once we started dating, all these other girls wanted to date him too. And they were like, oh, you're Simone's boyfriend. Because I was the vice president of our student government, black student government. So like a lot of people knew of me. So yeah. You got to watch out because you will end up taking that ugly guy into handsome. And then all of a sudden he's got all these critters running around. Yes. So prosecutor Lewin, it says he always wants the last say. I think he realized this case is weak and like to try and confuse the jury. So if another witness is called, that would be at 1:30 today. And that would be a witness for the state. I think he may either recall someone that he felt like he had more questions for because he had told the judge. So there was an incident where the defense provided some written notes to the prosecutor. Hold on a second. Great. Okay. There was an incident the other day of this week. I think it was Monday, where the defense attorney gave some notes to the prosecutor of a summary of I believe it was a conversation with some additional notes, either to the conversation with Wally. It's either Wally or ASAP Luke. And the state was complaining that they just received those like in the middle of the trial. And the judge says he did not believe it was unintentional. Basically, the judge thought they intentionally withheld this information. And therefore, the judge said that if the state felt they needed extra time to interview this witness, that they could. So I believe that is what the prosecutor is going to try and do at 1:30. So we shall see. You heard ugly on the inside and out. Jay Thompson said the ugly ones have audacity. Yeah, you can watch it after. You can just roll it back and watch it. They do get bold. Ugly men cheat more, in my opinion. They need that reassurance. They definitely be needing that reassurance. I mean, look at Kodak Black. You think Kodak would get one of these nice, cute little baby mamas and go sit down somewhere? No. He said, one is not enough. Let me get a bunch of them. No. Speaking of, what do y'all think? What is it? Nikki Baby from Love and Hip Hop was devastated to find out that her 26-year-old baby daddy, she's like 37, 38, gotta be. Her 26-year-old baby daddy is leaving the family. I'm putting in air quotes family for a reason, because she's got two children. One is an infant that's like 2 months old, and then she's got like a 2-year-old, leaving them and got another girl pregnant. Ladies, we got to stop calling it a family just because somebody gets you pregnant. A family is a choice. And these men seem like they want to just make the baby and carry on with their lives. So just because you have a baby with somebody doesn't make y'all a family. It could be, but that family has to be a joint decision. And please remember, especially Valentine's Day coming this week. Number one, remember that at Costco, you can get Plan B for only $12.99. Even if you're not a member. Yeah, for some reason, prescriptions you're allowed to get without when you go to the door and they're like, let me see your card. You just say, hey, I'm going to go get some Plan B. Or if you don't want to give them your business, you can say, hey, I'm going to the pharmacy. But also, these guys out here, they'll try to trap you just so they can have access to you for life without having to commit to you. So don't forget, that's a real thing. Teach your teenagers, teach your daughters. I've never seen such a proliferation of this, but I have a number of girlfriends who are highly successful, like Nikki was, where these men are like, oh, I don't mind getting you pregnant because you have your own. Sir. And then they feel like they could just come back and forth and deal with you when they want and then deal with other women when they want. Not me. I am too ignorant. I said, Nikki baby got what she asked for because he was with the woman when she got with him. I believe that. That does not surprise me. Yeah, he's still young. Like, I just think the assumption that a 26-year-old pro athlete is ready to be with you and only you for life, when y'all are just boyfriend or girlfriend, is a stretch. I think that is showing, oh, Nikki's only 34. She just looks older. Whoa. Okay, Nikki, I'm sorry. Ooh, girl. Yep, indeed. Someone else just said that. He's a rich ball player, duh. Like, a lot of ball players at 40 aren't faithful. So I definitely would expect them to be that way at 26. I think we just got to be realistic with our expectations. And she probably expected him to cheat, but probably didn't expect him to start another family. I think that's probably the part that hurts. But let me tell you, my 7-year-old niece said it right. She told me, well, first she told me she don't think I would ever have no kids. I said, why? She said, because you don't have it so far. I said, well, I haven't had a husband. She said, you don't need to have a husband to have a kid. I said, I don't. She's like, yeah, you could be a single mom. And I was like, oh, okay, I could. And then she goes, but you probably don't want to have a baby with a boyfriend, because if they're mean to you, you can't just up and leave. But if you don't have a baby with him and he's your boyfriend and he's mean to you, you could just dump him. I was like, out of the mouths of babes. She said that so succinctly, which is, if he's just your boyfriend, you could dump him and go. But if you have a baby with him and he's mean to you, you stuck with him. I was like, yeah, good point. His wages can be garnished as long as he's with the NBA. Not her. He's got he may not be on a team and he's over there rapping. Now, if he's just over here rapping, no, he ain't got no garnishable wages, and we need to get that under control. Do not do it, y'all. Don't get pregnant by no rappers who don't have no assets. Now, if he's rapping and flipping houses on the side, all right, give him a little something. But you do not want to have to be chasing. The worst men to have to chase, and I'm speaking as a lawyer, to have to chase for child support are these men who be having these harebrained schemes for new businesses every Thursday, and rappers. What y'all have to start doing with these rappers that don't want to pay their child support and support their kids is they like to go to court and act like they don't make no money. Well, you're rapping about money. You're spending this money on bottles here and there. Oh, speaking of, I need a mimosa. I'm glad I just thought of that. You speak about bottles. What y'all need to start doing to these little rapper boys who don't pay their child support is when you're in the middle of a child support proceeding, they have to disclose their income. And when they like to get up there and tell us they only make $800 every 2 weeks, put that on the social media. That's what you need to bring to social media. Be like, hey, your favorite rapper only wants to pay $200 a month of child support, but wants to pop bottles. That's how you get them. Yeah, I can't feel sorry for you. 2 kids, no marriage. That is your boyfriend. And you got to think of it like this. 99% of boyfriend-girlfriend relationships end, right? That's why they call your husband or wife the one. 99% of boyfriend-girlfriend relationships end. But far fewer marriages end. Also, I found this statistic recently. You are twice as likely to get a divorce if you had the kids before getting married. I did not realize that. Don't shoot the messenger. I just found that fact interesting, because when I look at people who are divorced, generally it's my friends who dated for more than 5 years as grown-ups, like in their 30s, because usually somebody is trying to convince themselves to settle for the other person. And it's usually somebody who got married because they had kids and they wanted to do the right thing and give that a try, knowing good and well they hate each other. Maybe not hate, but they get on each other's nerves. All right, we're still waiting. We are waiting any minute now. Yes, she just had a baby. But here's the thing. Remember, babies take 10 months. So during the pregnancy, things could have been falling apart. But how he, talking about Jamelo Ball and Nikki Baby, how he revealed the new girl is the problem. You don't have to be cruel. You cannot like her anymore, but you don't have to be cruel. You don't have to. She went to social media and is like, yes, he's been cheating on me. And then he goes to his social media and posts a photo of him and the alleged new girl on his story. And some people are like, look, 2-month-old, she's got postpartum. You don't have to, right? Like, go be happy with your new chick in your world. You don't have to throw it in her face in that way. She does look older. See, Queen D said, I've seen men like that. We're talking about men who will put a baby in you so they can have access to you with no intention of marrying you, or maybe saying, I'm going to sow my oats. I know I can always come back and forth over here to Kelly. I'm going to sow my oats. When I'm ready to settle down, I'm going to come get her. Hell, that's what T.I. did with Tiny, and she let him. T.I. and Tiny gave that man 2 kids in 10 years of her life. Them babies was big when they got married. No, they got married after he got the second jail sentence. Had he not gone back to jail that second time, they probably would not have married when they did. It says, I've seen men like that will procreate with you because he wants a quality bloodline and wants to ensure they always have access to your life, but no real plans to make you their one and only. And it's trifling. Yeah, Nikki has done a lot to her face. I'm going to be talking, but mine is still swollen. She expected him to sneak around like all the rest of them do. Oh, Kiki and DC, that's a good point. Yeah, because there's a lot of women are like, if you have other, okay, I heard this about Emily, Fabulous and Emily. Emily expected Fabulous to marry her. She used to say she knew he cheated, but she expected him to cheat privately. Don't make a big spectacle. Don't be all in the blogs with whatever his new other woman was going to be. And she fully expected that when he got ready to get married, he would settle down and he would marry her. Now she's sitting up here with 2 kids and a busted lip, a busted head. Apparently he knocked upside her head at some point, and they never did marry. But that's probably for the best, because if he was violent, as she insinuated, you don't want that no type of way. And you certainly don't want a husband to say you've had a husband. Don't let these people fool you, because some of these husbands be giving these women the blues. And there's a number of women out there that will tell you they would have been better off never marrying this person than having to pay these men alimony, palimony, and all this other stuff. Kids make it simple. Adults complicated. They sure do. Wait, Lala is not only 43. Lala is definitely older, and she looks good for whatever age she is. But yeah, I remember, I won't say who, but I was fixed up. Okay. Most people see it. I was on the Steve Harvey show years ago, and he fixed me up with actor Laz Alonso, who is so handsome. And we were going on a date. And so my mom, who does background checks, he said whatever his age was. And then my mom did the real background check. And she was like, oh yeah, maybe in whatever his age was. She was like, yeah, that's in Hollywood years. And she was able to tell me his real age. Yeah, they all be lying about their age. It wasn't bad. It wasn't off, but I get it. Oh God, Kenny said, I might pull a Drea and be an OBGYN. Oh, just kidding. Young. You know what? Okay, here's one thing about the younger ones. I won't say which one I had, but I used to talk to this guy. He was a big deal when I lived in New York. He was on the Giants. They love it when you could teach them stuff and you're not bossy. So if you can manage to get a young one, let him be free, pop in here, and I would go over his real estate contracts. He'd have deals he was a franchise player for one of the sports teams up there. I'd look over his stuff, and he was just enamored with everything about me, and all of that was cute. But I found out he had a baby mom, and as far as the baby mom was concerned, they were still in a relationship. So as far as I'm concerned, you're still in a relationship. So I was like, nah, you need to go handle that stuff over there before you come over here to be, because I'm not about to be playing house with your ass. Yeah, ain't no way, Lala 43. Oh no. I'm not gonna post it when somebody said my baby daddy died. Ain't had to deal with his ass in 11 years. Congratulations. I'm not sure. We got a sidebar going on right now, guys, as we're waiting for court to resume. More than likely what's happening right now is they are going back and forth arguing over the jury instructions. Because I can imagine they're probably really having difficulty coming to agreement on how they want to discuss the prop gun issues with the jury. And the jury's instructions also are going to say, do not consider certain factors, X, Y's, and Z's. And they're probably not agreeing on what those factors could be. For example, one of the things that defense tried to get in was the fact that ASAP told his lawyers from the very beginning it was a prop gun. Whereas prosecution was to get in the fact that they didn't learn of the prop gun defense until right before trial started. Well, the judge might determine that that's not relevant for the jury. The jury doesn't need to know that. Or yes, the jury can know it, but what's the wording going to be to discuss it? So it says, Terry is crazy. Yeah, Terry said she had to deal with him 11 years. Girl, oh, and if your baby daddy died, see, hold on, let me go back to this. I'll put it up here. If your baby daddy died, y'all, number one, make sure you're getting that Social Security if he paid into Social Security. This is also why we like garnishable wages, because then if they drop dead, you could collect Social Security for the benefit of your babies. Secondly, y'all, this is why I say never give up on the child support that you're graded. Like, you know how child support can be ordered, but maybe that man never pays. Let that sucker accrue. Because if one day, let's say he gets hit by a bus, especially if it's an 18-wheeler, call me, Simone Red, go to SimoneRedwine.com. I'll take your case. If he gets hit by an 18-wheeler, that's your money. You get that back child support, because here's how it works. He gets hit by Uber, any of that, that's you. That's all you, mama. Or daddy. If you got a deadbeat mama and you taking care of the kids and she owe that child support, wait for her to get hit by a bus. It happens more frequently than you think. Or win a lottery ticket, any of that. So how it works, if you have child support arrears on file in the state, it has to be a lien filed with the state. So not just the order. Once you get that order, there's a second step you have to take to create a lien that's on file with your state. Then what happens is nobody can cut a check to this person without first paying off your child support lien. By cutting a check, I mean in certain circumstances, like the sale of a home. Let's say grandma, granddad died and left them a house. That house, and they want to sell it, they can't get their portion until they take care of their child support. They can't get their personal injury lawsuit settlement check until they pay that child support. So let that money accrue. Don't hit them with the car, though. It can't be you hitting them with the car. Well, I guess you could, but I don't want you to go to jail. I like my followers. Hit that subscribe button, guys. Keep watching. It says, or get on birth control, wear condoms, or only love men that actually want a future with you. I really like the idea. I really like birth control. It has worked for me. It has truly controlled my births. Let me tell you, I went through a period. It was some men that was trying to trap her. They were trying to trap me. I had to tell you, listen, sir, I am untrappable. I am untrappable. I will take my medication. Let me tell you, when I went to college, I wasn't doing it to nobody because my mom was like, you're going to have 100 boyfriends. Don't give everything to the first one. Otherwise, you'll be all stretched out for your husband. Perfectly logical. Got it. So later in life, when I was ready to do it to people, I made it a whole rigmarole. My boyfriend had to come with me to the student health clinic. It was my senior year, whatever, I'm telling my business. He had to come to the clinic. I made him pull down the pamphlets of all the different options. It was like he had to give me a PowerPoint presentation. He had to read the pamphlets, tell me the pros and cons of each. So one of them was the shot depot. Another one was the patch. The third one was the peel. Oh, and then one of them was the little Nuva ring. I didn't like that because I don't like digging in myself. That was weird. But I made him get a pamphlet for each. He had to do like a little, he had to make me a candlelight dinner. Because if I'm giving you my virginity, the least you give me is a book report. You know, I need to know that you're putting forth effort. And I need to know that you know how we prevent certain things, you know? Yeah, we got to really put some effort up in there. So anyway, when we picked and all that stuff. Yeah, we picked and we used our little pamphlets and we picked our little thing off the wall. And I did a little patch for a while, and then I did the little shot. We did all that. Yes, true. You got to put on condoms. STD rates are out of control. Let me tell you, I dated this really cute guy who was a doctor. He was so cute. And we dated long distance for a while. And I came to visit and he was like, well, I had to let you know something. He was like, because he was like, you know, whenever a man says, I think I'm a great catch, run. That's just weird. Show me you're a good catch. Don't tell me. He said, he told myself, you know, I think I would be the perfect man if I didn't have herpes. Oh, yeah, that invalidates you, sir. I'm going to have to say, yeah. I'm going to have to give that a no. I don't care what medical school you graduated from. I don't care how great of a doctor you are. I'm going to agree. Yeah, you could have been that perfect guy. Ugh. God, no. Mm-mm. No. Oh, y'all, we're just having a sidebar as we wait for court to resume. It says Will and Jada and Callie, everything is split 50-50. I believe that's probably why they stick around. And they may get together periodically and have little tromps together, but I will never forgive Jada for making August Alsina gay. Don't get me wrong. I can tolerate a guy who's like, what did we say, 32% gay or less? But she just really took August all the way to about, he's in the 90th percentile and not the kind of way that I'd want, not the SAT type of 90th percentile. August Alsina is the 90th percentile for dick. And I'm disappointed. He's so handsome. He seems really nice to you. She just ruined that man. God damn it. God damn it, Jada. You're ruining all the good ones. You're making them gay. You're taking them to the other side. Yeah, I wonder what's taking so long too. I really think that it's likely them arguing over the jury instructions and what they do and don't want to be included. Kiki, why you say herpes is a gift that keeps on giving? Here's what really made me mad. Do you know this motherfucker had the audacity to have, it wasn't the fact that it was, he had a kid with somebody who wasn't his wife. So it wasn't that it was a kid out of wedlock. No, I mean, that's fine. You're an adult. But I just could not believe. So he had this really, okay, I'm going to just tell this part of the story. So the herpes doctor that I dated, I never did it to him because I was unprepared for all of that. But he had this ugly ex-girlfriend. And she knew she was ugly because she told him, she was like, listen, what do I have to do to get with you? I'll do whatever it takes. And like the origination of a pick-me-sha. So she knew, and there's like ugly and try, and there's ugly and don't try. And she was like unattractive and don't try. I'll say that. So, but she gave him money. Like when he was in medical school, she had like a real job. She would give him money. She was like buying him. She was doing all of the things that you do when you know you're unattractive, but you're like, hey, there's a doctor in my midst. Understandable. Well, this girl went and had unprotected sex with him and got pregnant. I was like, ew, she could have you. What? This woman was such a peck-misha. She said, I'll take you and the herpes that comes with you. Fuck no! I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Hold on, I'm reading these comments. Jada ain't never had real eyes for anyone but Tupac. Well, that's believable. Oh, somebody said Will was smacking Carlton's butt before Jada. Kitty said, I need a burner account for the Will and Jada tea. That's probably true. That is probably true. Wait, Queenie said, I'm choking you today. He said, I can't take a sip without spitting it back out. And I'm questioning the judgment of a doctor with a diagnosis. Yeah, he got the diagnosis. He wasn't a doctor at the time he got the diagnosis. He got it. I think he said he got it like college years. And he became a doctor later in life. But I'm just like, that girl was such a pick-me-sha. She said, I'll take you and the herpes you rode in with. I want you and the herpes you rode in with, baby. Oh, Mickey Love is saying regarding Jada and Will, I think the reason they haven't gotten a divorce is Will. He didn't want to divorce his first wife. Oh. Y'all, that's why I like divorced men now, because there's only two kinds of divorced men. I'll say this. Dating in your like late mid-30s into 40s, two kinds of divorced men. The one who don't ever want to get married again, and the ones who absolutely positively do. There's no in between. The ones who do want to get married again, they usually have like smaller kids. It's usually what they miss is that family unit, that family environment. And then the ones who never ever do, they usually have bigger kids. They're like, I'm all done. And they want to be a whore. Go ho. But don't come bothering us ladies when you get to be 50, 60, your dick barely works. Okay? It ain't working. You got diabetes. You got all these problems. And you need a caregiver. Ain't gonna do it. You should have came got me in my 40s when you had some life to live before I had to change your damn pamper. Oh, yeah. Hebrew said, can you imagine how many celebs have STDs considering the diddler? Great point. Yes, absolutely. Oh, someone has a good, valid question. Simone, are you going to do a video about the federal buyout and its legality and student loan issues? Now, I need to brush up on the student loan issues. But the federal buyout, let me tell you, I've been in touch with some friends that work for the government. Here's what's crazy. They're giving so much misinformation on the federal buyout that some people have actually been informed that if you take it, you can still be called back to work any day now. And you don't get it for the full 8 months. You're going to get paid like you get paid currently. So whether that's weekly or every 2 weeks, whatever it is. And therefore, if you get a new job, you're expected to stop getting that payment. Hell no. Who says I can't work 2 jobs? They got people working virtually, working 2 jobs all the time. So for some people, that sucks because it's like usually with a true severance package, you get that package. And if you get another job next week, you still get the full package. No, apparently with this government buyout bull honky, that's not how they're doing it. Angela said, we're talking about men who want to hoe until their bodies stop working and then they want to settle down in their late 50s and 60s. Angela said, don't come around here wanting a diaper change when you couldn't love me before the incontinence. Absolutely. All right. Come on, I'm checking. Come on, Court. Here, I'm going to check. Angela says, I'm dying, but couldn't agree more. Da, da, da. Which is a better route to establish visitations? Putting yourself on child support or going family courts route? Dad here. Absolutely putting yourself. Because here's why. Think of it this way. Whoever goes to the courthouse first gets to ask first. Think of it like if you and your siblings are going to your parents saying, hey, can I use the car? Well, if mama says, yes, you can use the car, guess who can't use the car? Your sibling, because you're using it. Whoever asks for, if you say, mom, can I use the car Monday, Wednesday, and Friday? And she says yes to you, that means the other days would be available to your sibling like that. So I always say you go first. You're going to get the grace of the court. It looks like you proactively want to be a good parent versus looking like the parent that's being dragged in there because they don't want to participate. So you just want to make sure that you when you file, you say, I'm willing to establish visitation and support, because sometimes if you get 50-50 visitation in many states, you don't have to pay child support. It just depends on the differential of how much money you make, especially if you're willing to, like if through your job, you can provide health insurance. But it's always better to be first because you set the stage. It makes you the petitioner. If there's anybody else who's been through that, who can speak to it in the comments, please feel free to. Hospice wives. Yep, you're right. That is what it was calling. All right, No Limit Nikki is saying, do not trust the buyout. My friend works with OPM. She said that it's BS and what they're doing is illegal. If you take the package, it's likely you are choosing to quit and that they're going to stop paying you and there's nothing to be done. Because remember, Trump hasn't paid anyone. All those contractors that have worked for him over the years, he files for bankruptcy and pays no one. True Who said, if I was going, we'd go to the doctor and get the STD test prior to an official relationship. Absolutely. That's what I've done. And has been very peaceful. Or like me, you can be engaged to someone who lies about being able to have kids, can't really. And so you're always thinking like, why am I not getting pregnant? And it's because he can't get you pregnant. But that was only while I was engaged. Anyway. Oh, good point. You won't get unemployment during those 8 months. Yeah, if you're getting paid a salary during those 8 months, you can't get unemployment because you're collecting a salary. Ooh, go Be More Cutie. Thank you for adding that. Pro woman. Anybody else think LeBron and Savannah have an agreement? He selectively entertains others and that she's okay with it. Thoughts? I definitely think in their younger years it had to have. I think though that as you get older, you're probably less likely to do that, or you only do it like the men will only do that with other married women. That way they both have a lot to lose. Because what's her name? Anansa Sims, Matt Barnes' girl. Oh, y'all want to hear that story? I'm going to tell that story. Anansa Sims, Matt Barnes' girl, like part of the hell that she raised when she posted the information. So basically, she's saying that Matt has cheated on her with 8 women this year alone. And she was upset about that. Now, Anansa, He's been cheating on you, honey buddy. You knew this. I don't know why we're upset now, but okay. You have a right. You always have a right to be upset, even if maybe privately he was allowed to cheat or whatever. They actually broke up in college because he was cheating. Anyway, what my story was going to be there is one year for New Year's, I was out with friends and we were out with the Golden State Warriors. So it was like my girlfriends, the Golden State Warriors. Matt was there with this girl who looked exactly like Laura Govan. And Laura was not there. I don't know why Laura wasn't there. This was New Year's Eve. Golden State was playing the Houston Rockets. And so they were here in Houston. We were having a ball. I think I was still in law school or just graduated law school at the time. I can't remember. But I will never forget how he had literally like a lookalike to the same girl that he liked. But that probably because he wanted someone who could travel, or she may have been local. She may have been a Houston girl. I'm not sure. But I remember thinking about that. And then also thinking about how when Anansa listed the list of all the women that he's cheated on, at least one of those was a married woman. Who's alleged to be like their financial person or something like that. And a lot of times cheaters like to cheat with married people because they feel like that married person isn't going to rat them out. So I could see that being some of it too. But I don't know anything about LeBron. I've never heard of LeBron cheating. I've never heard of Savannah. I've never heard of any of that getting caught. Jacqueline said, I don't know why Anansa had the second kid, but it is what it is. Matt is a serial cheater. Right. And here's the thing with Anansa. When you make a big show like that, where you're like, oh, my man is cheating. If you're not going to leave us out of the group chat. Now, if you're I'm totally cool with you telling us so that we could stop asking you or telling you Matt's business, or like, because when you break up with someone, if that person starts dating and people don't know you're broken up, they're going to be sending you posts and be like, oh, he's cheating on you, when really you're not together anymore. So if your point is to tell people you're not together anymore, that's fine. Tell us so we'll leave you alone and stop, telling you this other person's business. But girl, we don't think you're going anywhere. And here's the problem. I would never, if I know I'm not going anywhere, I'm not even going to let that man know I know he's cheating. You know what I'm going to do instead? Ask him for everything my heart's ever desired, because they feel guilty. I'm going to make sure that I get treated extra super special and all of those things. But I'm not about to tell you if I'm not going anywhere. Secondly, she owes a responsibility to her daughter, who is a high schooler, that if you going to put your business out here embarrassing yourself like that, or letting that man embarrass you, as you say, you got to get up and go. You have to do something else, because your daughter is watching. Your daughter is watching what you do. And if you tolerate it, you are teaching her to tolerate it. And Anansa is very beautiful. So if it's going to happen to Anansa, then yeah. Oh, Day One said LeBron does cheat. It's the best kept secret in Hollywood. Who would he cheat with? That's what I want to know. Who is keeping that type of secret? You're going to have to pay me a lot. Paying my rent, you're going to have to pay my mortgage. Yeah, if you're not going to leave, let him do it in peace. Because I do believe that there are men who can completely love you and cheat. I think there are two types of cheaters. Men who cheat because of you, and men who cheat because of them. When I talk about the men who cheat because of you, I'm talking about the woman who hasn't had sex with her husband in a year. I'm talking about the man that goes and buys coochie. I want you to buy the coochie, because then it's going to go away and then you come back by me. I don't want you to have a relationship and be paying for this girl's kids' school fees. I don't want you to be traveling and having this girl on trips and stuff. No, I would rather you buy the coochie and go. But the other kind, when I say a man who cheats because of you and because of him, if it's because of you, then that means there's actually something you can do to stop it going forward, right? But I think more frequently, and that can be, being sexually active, not being so mean, not being cruel, not being emotionally unavailable. That happens. Those kind of things. And then I think more frequently, it's the man that cheats because of him. That kind of man, it doesn't matter who they're with, they're going to cheat. Let's look at, Halle Berry was married to Eric Benet. He had a sex addiction. He would tell you, it don't matter who he's with. He's going to be with somebody else. Most frequently, it's the men with mama issues. Men with mama issues will always cheat. A man who doesn't trust his mother will always cheat. because he's always anticipating that you are going to F him over, break his heart, or leave him. I can't date no more adopted men. Ooh, I dated like 3 adopted men. This one adopted boy, oh, he was so stupid. The adoption doesn't make you stupid. It's the unresolved mama issue. So it's not that if I could meet an adopted man who didn't have the unresolved mama issues, I'd be open to it. This fool told me he proactively cheats. When he gets in a relationship, he cheats on her first. That way, when she cheats on him, it's not going to hurt as bad. And he'll be like, oh, she was just getting her lick back. Sir, what? You are stupid. And he was. Now, that was the man I couldn't kick him out of my house fast enough. He was supposed to come to visit, and he moved in, sleeping on my air mattress. And when I tried to put him, the only way I could get him out, there's one way to get rid of a broke man. Ask him for some money. I asked him for some rent, and he was out in 48 hours. Thank God. Oh, what's her name? Admitted to having a relationship with LeBron? Let's find out. I want to know who it is. We only got 152 likes. Let's get Drew Sidora. No. That was before he was. Well, Drew Sidora? That don't even make sense. No, he wouldn't cheat with Drew. It was something else. I think I know what you're talking about, but he proactively cheated. When I tell you this man, he went to Morehouse, but he was dumb. He told me he went to Morehouse. I said, did you finish? Because he was dumb. My mama gonna get mad at me. She don't like when I tell identifying factors, but it's a lot of people that I dated that went to Morehouse. You don't know which one. Poma said, how is Jay-Z able to keep his hoe secret? He's admitted to womanizing, but nobody comes forward. I don't think he actively does it anymore. He's got too much to lose now, but anything is possible. I still think about how Beyonce's daddy had not 1 but 2 kids on her mama. The second kid was when her mama was gone up out of there because she apparently, they said she loved Matthew. She loved her husband. She did not want a divorce. But when you're out here impregnating scallywags, at that point, yeah, you got to go. Yeah, Drew Sidora was before LeBron got married. Definitely before. But remember, LeBron did it right in that it took him forever to get married. But there's nothing wrong with that if your goal is once I get married, I'm not going to cheat no more. See, he cheated all before, more than likely. That's my guess, allegedly. He cheated prior to marriage. But for a lot of women, that's all they want is, okay, once you marry me, please stop cheating on me. Please. Somebody said, how is Jay-Z able to keep it quiet? Why Mickey Love say they're probably scared of getting punched in the face? NDAs and money. NDAs is what I was thinking. Terry, are you a paralegal? Are you a lawyer? Because I think so too. NDAs is money is how these athletes and entertainers are able to keep these girls. Oh my God, my face itches. Sorry. Don't get a facelift, guys. It makes your face itch. It's the lymph nodes, whatever they did to it. MD, he wasn't exclusively with her. They're quiet because they all share girls they know won't talk. The other thing too is I've come to learn that a lot of these girls are professional girlfriends. So this is how they pay their bills. So if they start telling on people, they're going to lose all their suitors. They're going to lose all their income streams. And so then what? So yeah, they are highly incentivized to keep it quiet because they pop that P4 goon. Oh, you're good, Terry. You're good. So Jay-Z has a grown kid. They're in court still. Tasha K did the interview. Oh yeah, with that guy. See, that's a weird one. The Jay-Z child situation. It's weird and interesting because if I had a husband, I would want to go ahead and maybe go ahead, get the damn test, get it out the way. But then I think the issue becomes then society is going to expect you to try and foster a relationship with this child. And then that becomes the second thing. Because it's like, well, I think the dad should. Now, I don't think I'm responsible necessarily. Like if I have little kids, I'm going to be selective with who I bring little kids around. But you and your daddy, y'all need to go fishing. Y'all need to go hunting. Y'all need to do a plethora of things that weren't done before. I don't think that it's his child. But I don't go by looks. That boy looks like his mama. Ramir got cut off by the other alleged child. What does that mean? I did hear that. I like that. I like a logical conspiracy theory. And the theory that Jay-Z doesn't want to admit it because the mom was underage, I can follow that. Well, if I knew how long this break was, I'd go ahead and tell y'all my second story time. I'm still mad about that. He does look like Jay-Z. I see that. But my grandma taught me, she said, you can't say that a baby probably belongs to a certain man because they look alike until you've seen all the candidates. That's what my grandma said, because we had in our town, we had a situation where everybody was so sure that this baby belonged to this green-eyed guy. He had green eyes, baby had the green eyes. Come to find out that was that girl's type. She went off to college. She was messing with the guy who actually had green eyes, and it was this other guy's baby the whole time. And she kept trying to pin it on this other person in our town. And everybody believed that he was being a deadbeat, blah, blah, blah. You got to look at all the candidates. I tell you, I have a type. Well, I have a type in my head. I don't actually necessarily get my type regularly, but we are still waiting. ASAP Rocky, closing arguments. Let me take this banner down. I was doing a sidebar story time. Because I was talking about things. That looks much better. Sidebar. There we go. We are waiting any moment now for this trial to resume. Let me check on Twitter and see if I can see what's going on. Yes, I'm still calling it Twitter because I don't respect that man. I don't respect that owner. Let's see what they're talking about over here. I need a mimosa. I wish one of my homegirls could come bring me a mimosa. Oh, yeah, this is a great time to plug as well. Guys, don't forget experiencetitle.com. Real quick. Experience Title is also my title company. We do closings throughout the state of Texas. We do mobile closings, in-person closings, etc. So if you have any real estate needs in the state of Texas, please consider Experience Title. Go to experiencetitlellc.com and we'd love to help. We are still waiting for court to resume, but here, I'm going to check Twitter and see what's going on with these folks. We've got... All right, what's Megan? Megan, what's she over here talking about? Yes, ASAP has confirmed he will not testify at trial today. Thank God. Thank God. We don't want that. Oh, this is a fave. Hold on. I have to show y'all this clip.
Gun went since you gave it back. At some point in time, did you where that gun
Watch
is
this
today?
clip. This is from yesterday.
Where that gun is today.
Specifically, no. Like I said,
Hold on. This is the clip where the DA is livid that ASAP's manager, ASAP Luke, does not know where the gun is and accuses him of being a lie. You a bald-faced lie. Here you go. I'm going to make it bigger.
Where that gun is today.
specifically, no. Like I said, when I went to New York, I gave it back to him.
Well, so since you became involved, since you've known about where that gun went, since you gave it back, at some point in time, did you become aware that, you know what, the fact that it's a prop gun is important in this case?
Yes.
And you understand that if it's a prop gun, the defendant cannot.
Hold on.
Fight about in this case would have ejected 2 fired cartridge cases as it was fired.
Back.
The fired cartridge cases previously marked as People's Exhibit 32 were not fired from the prop gun. So stipulated this.
All right, the court accepts. Thank you.
Oh, let me explain that,
All right,
guys. That's,
I'm gonna read the jury instructions to you now.
this is what they were arguing.
And if I just read them, I think it's not gonna make sense, because you're gonna get self-defense instructions, and you might think, well, why are we getting self-defense instructions? Here's why. So, and that will, I think, make it a little easier for you to grasp.
Oh, now that's interesting. So I may be getting corrected. They said they're going to be getting self-defense instructions. Well, usually they don't let you bring self-defense unless you take the stand or have been interviewed by the police, or detectives. So I wonder if at some point Rocky has been interviewed. We'll hear that. But what they were just talking about is that with the jury instructions, there's going to be an instruction to the jury that even a prop gun ejects, prop casings, but that the casings that were retrieved did not come from a prop gun. I'm going to say that again. What they are going to tell the jury is two things. Prop guns do eject prop casings, but that the casings that were retrieved and turned in, the ones from Relly, are not casings that came from a prop gun. So in other words, a jury can decide it must have been a real gun because those were the casings, or a jury can decide, I don't think those casings came from the prop gun. But either way, the jury is going to be told that prop guns do have casings that come out. I hope that helps. Let me know what questions you have in the chat. Relly said Rocky took, that might be it too. That might be why they're allowing the self-defense, because see, that would make sense that you don't have to come on the stand to say it's self-defense if the victim is using the term self-defense. I'm attorney Simone, your legal bestie. If you're joining us right now, we are talking about the ASAP Rocky trial. I am a real lawyer, even though I am not looking like one today. Well, lawyers wear pajamas too. Cece says, I stand by my initial opinion. The glove doesn't fit. They must acquit. This cat rock says, how can they rely on casings when the police did not collect the evidence? Hey, Kat, I really think many jurors are going to feel the same way. And I think that there should be a jury instruction that speaks to the fact that they're allowed to consider the fact that the chain of custody here was not followed, that this so-called evidence, is it evidence if it's given to you by the alleged victim? I've never heard in my life of a story where the victim brings the bullet casings to the police. Say, hey, this guy shot me. Here's the casings. Girl, what? Linda said, that's not surprising because if Relly found the casings and took it to the police, it's unheard of. Abita said, I wish they tried harder to retrieve the pop pow pow. That could have shortened this trial. Here's the problem, but it wouldn't. This would have been an aggravated assault trial, not aggravated assault with semi-automatic. If they had retrieved the prop, there would literally be, to my knowledge, but actually y'all tell me in the chat, it's my understanding that yes, they ejected casing, but if we don't have that casing, we can't match anything to the prop weapon. So there's no way. I guess what could have happened is they could have seen it and been like, hey, this is it. And then everyone could have said, yep, that's what he had in his hand. It looked like the one in the photo. I guess that is something that could have happened and could have helped. But I guarantee you, if they had the prop sooner, let's say 30 days or more beforehand, and that was the deadline for evidence. The evidence deadline is 30 days before trial. If that had been presented to the state simply would have changed the charge to aggravated assault. The judge would have allowed it because it is a lesser included. You can't have an aggravated assault with a semi-automatic if you don't have an aggravated assault. So that's why I'm thinking it was great gamesmanship if they could find a legal way to not submit the prop gun. Yep, he's on tape pulling the weapon and rushing towards the fight, Pro Woman says. Therefore, that will impact whether a jury can see self-defense here. Let me see. Hold up. Correction. I stand corrected. California has a stand your ground defense. And what I'm reading is that it says because California has stand your ground, you do not have to take the stand in California to argue self-defense. Now, if it were a state like New York that does not have stand your ground, here, I'm going to share this with you guys. It says, no, you do not need to take the stand to argue self-defense in California. It's a stand your ground state, which means you can use force to defend yourself without retreating if you are threatened. California's self-defense laws include stand your ground doctrine and the castle doctrine. Castle doctrine is if it's your house or a building. So that explains why, okay, he would not need to take the stand. There we go. So I hope that helps. But that makes sense because I know for sure in the Jonathan Majors case, he was unable to argue self-defense due to the fact that he was not going to take the stand. And he was unable to get into evidence, like the photos of the scratches the lady put on him and different things like that, due to the fact that he wasn't going to take the stand. He needed to take the stand to authenticate those because those were photos he himself had taken. Yeah, he said that when he was talking with Wale. You're right, that it was self-defense. He did. Don't forget, you can book a consultation with me at SimoneRedwine.com. I do legal consults for issues throughout the nation, from something as small as a small claims court matter to, you've been given a separation agreement from an employer and you'd like someone to look over it for you. You can go to SimoneRedwine.com to book there, and they start at just $149 for half an hour. All right, sloppy investigation by the popos. Yeah, Shireen. It seems like I'm seeing most people do not feel like, would you trust those casings? All right. Amia, she said they did an interview with Jason Lee and he asked if they wanted to get married and his answer was giving no, even though he said one day. So sad. Which couple are you talking about, Amaya? Days later. I agree. Those casings are void in my eyes. Didn't they also say Relly visited a gun range the day before he found the casings? It wasn't the day before. It was like 2 weeks before. But yes, he did. And not only that, first he said he'd never shot a gun prior to the incident. Then they put up on the screen a photo of him shooting a gun. And then he says, oh, no, I meant at a range. So then they put up a photo of him at a range shooting a gun. And they asked him, where was this? He said, I don't know, but it wasn't LA. It wasn't LA. Only for them to confirm later it was the LA gun range. He claimed it was he really claimed it was an honest mistake, just a misunderstanding. But it really made him look bad. Yes, here there's no true ballistics. All right. Can you still get convicted if it's a prop gun? No, the charge is aggravated assault with a semi-automatic weapon. So no, you cannot. So that's a good question. If it's not a semi-automatic weapon, then he's not guilty. That's also why you would not in advance want to inform the police, hey, this is a prop gun, because all they'll do is change the charge to aggravated assault without a semi-automatic weapon. Hope that helps. Oh, Cece said, of course, Erica Jane's son is a sloppy police officer. Why didn't they get a doctor to determine if Relly's knuckle injuries were consistent with gunshot wounds? I think sometimes you don't do that. Okay, so one of the things that was interesting, and we'll have to see in the jury instructions, is that they continue to say whether or not Welly was injured is irrelevant. And it is for the charge, given that you can be assaulted with a semi-automatic without being shot. So that's why they're saying it was irrelevant, the state particularly. However, for the defense, it is relevant to whether or not he comes off as a liar. So I think they probably did not get a doctor to attest to that because they had a lot of other ways to show he was a liar. And because usually you combat a expert witness with an expert witness. Here, they never brought an expert doctor on the stand for the state to say, yes, in fact, these injuries came from a gun. And I think they did that on purpose because they have the burden on that and they didn't meet it, right? They weren't going to be able to get they probably weren't going to be able to get a doctor on the stand that was going to do a good job of that on cross-examination wasn't going to say like, hey, these injuries could have also occurred from you punching someone, correct? Yes. From you punching them 3 times in the face, correct? Yes. Or a variety of other reasons that you could have attained this particular injury, correct? And if someone were shot at, would you generally expect them to see a doctor the same day? Yes. See, they weren't going to do good with those questions. So I believe that that's why they didn't call that type of an expert. Hold on. Hold on. All right, so we are waiting for this. Self-defense, yes, apparently. We just heard the judge reference that self-defense is something that's going to be mentioned in front of the jury. So we want to see how that's going to work. Is today Tuesday or Wednesday? Tuesday. Okay. I'm thinking they could have brought the pow pow after the charges were set. So the burden of reasonable doubt is on the prosecution, though. Yes. They have to prove that it's not a prop gun. That is true. And they haven't. Yeah. But I think part of how like the state is upset. Part of the reason they're so upset about being blindsided with the prop gun defense is they feel like they haven't had a fair chance to prove that it's not. But the truth of the matter is this is going to change the game for proving up and charging up aggravated assault with a weapon, with a semi-automatic weapon cases. And in fact, I wouldn't be surprised if going forward, they charge them with both. They charge them with both just in case they can't win on the one, they can win on the other. Because I know that they feel very embarrassed at this point. That's going to hurt the difference, in my opinion. Which part? Further, it says, the meaning fact that Relly texted someone and told them he's going to get rich speaks volume. Yeah, I just can't get out of my mind the fact that Relly thought that little knuckle injury of his was worth $30 million. That's what he's suing for. $30 million. And now I see why he was adamant that he did not want to drop the charges. Absolutely. I absolutely see that. Somebody said, I hope the jury's smarter than a 5th grader. But Relly had his jacket and pulled Rocky close to him. Well, I think that's why they're able to get in the self-defense argument. Game changer. Wait, didn't the prosecution actually piece together the video, which makes it void? It should be void. So at this point, it's not void because it was already accepted as evidence. But yes, not only did he piece together the video, they found out they pieced it together and then they overlaid the sound over certain videos. So one of the videos had sound, another video did not. They put the sound of the gunshots over the other video. That's pretty messed up. And the thing was, they didn't reference that until day 3 or 4 of even using that video. It could have been the 5th day, but it wasn't until I want to say one of the detective experts took the stand. That was the person who admitted to that. All right, let me go back to this clip. Here's a clip that it's referencing the fact that the defendant can't be found guilty of the charges because it's not a real gun. And so the prosecutor is trying to say, ASAP Luke, you're up here lying for your friend due to the fact that you don't want him to be found guilty of having a real gun.
Be guilty of the charges because it's not a real gun. You understand that, correct?
That's correct, it's a problem.
So what efforts did you make in the last 3 years to try to get that prop gun back so that you could demonstrate, hey, my brother, he didn't do this crime? Did you make any efforts?
Yeah, I asked the co-director if he had it still, he doesn't.
When did you ask him?
Specifically, I don't remember, sir.
Now, isn't it true, sir, that you testified you returned it in January of 2022?
That's correct, yes.
Did it seem strange to you that you were returning a gun?
A prop gun.
Huh?
A prop gun?
Is a prop gun a gun?
It's a prop gun.
So when I say gun, you don't need to correct me.
Okay.
Look at that attitude. When I say gun, you don't need to correct me.
When you return the gun.
You sassy. Yo, that prosecutor is sassy as hell. I need to, when I say gun, you don't need to correct me. Literally, with a jury is gonna, I feel like a jury will see him as a sore loser, as a man who's completely lost control of this case, is wasting the public's time, and is now unhinged.
When you return the gun, in January of 2022, by that time, you were aware that your friend Rocky was potentially going to be getting in some trouble as it relates to that incident, correct?
No, I was not aware of that.
So, but you certainly knew 3 months later in April, correct?
Yes, when he got arrested, I knew he was.
And you knew that day, as soon as you heard about it, you knew, oh my God, I've got information, that gun's not real, correct? You knew that day.
Yes.
Did you go get the gun?
I was in LA. The gun, like I said, I gave it to the director in New York in January.
Did you make an effort to try to get the gun?
I told you I contacted him to see if he still had it.
When did you contact him?
And again, I don't recall the exact dates. It was just 3 years ago.
Isn't it true, sir, that you didn't contact him for more than a year?
Sir, to be honest, I don't know the exact date I contacted him.
Well, let me ask you something, sir. Wouldn't you have instantly, the day you heard about the defendant getting arrested, wouldn't you have jumped on a plane to get back there and find that prop gun that would have gotten your brother out of the trouble that he was in? Wouldn't you have done it?
Sir, I contacted the director. I don't know exactly when to see if he had it. He doesn't have it anymore.
And so you just took
He's
the
doing
gas
really
when
good.
you did it?
Yes.
Did you investigate further once he told you?
No, I didn't. I mean, he doesn't have it anymore. I don't know which one to say.
Did you go to the police and tell them what you knew?
No.
Did
This
you go
was
to the
so dumb.
prosecution and tell them what you knew?
No.
You're aware that he had a preliminary hearing.
Hold on. Let me tell you why that's dumb. To say, did you go to the police and tell them what you knew? If my friend is being accused of something I don't think that he did, I'm not going to the police. I'm going to my friend's attorneys. That's what rich people do, stupid. I'm not going to the police who I feel like are trying to railroad my friend. I'm going to go to the attorneys for my friend because those are the people who can negotiate with the police. Durr.
In November of 2023, you're aware of that preliminary hearing, correct?
Yes.
You knew it was publicized in the media, correct?
Yes. Yes.
You knew that based at that time, that your brother, your close friend, could not have committed this crime because it wasn't a real gun, and you didn't do anything, did you?
This is the dumbest question ever. See, when I was joking talking about they need a DEI, but no, they really do. You have to be able, like, I feel like a lot of these privileged lawyers, like I went to Cornell Law, right? So I went to law school with a lot of super privileged people like this. And they are some of the absolute dumbest. They're not able to relate to the average everyday worker. the average everyday person who's just trying to get by, who's just trying to live like a safe life, take care of their family, mind their effing business. I'm not going to run to the police and say, hey guys, it was a prop gun. My friend didn't really do it. No, I'm going to go to the lawyer for my friend and let that lawyer do their actual job, little stupid. Pro Women said, I'm suing on grounds of hood pettiness and a waste of taxpayer dollars. I'm calling Judge Judy. Yeah, what would the purpose be of going to the police? To say, hey, it was a prop gun? I'm not interjecting myself into nobody's criminal nothing. People got stuff to do. Hit that like button, please, guys. That helps YouTube to recommend this. Exactly. Who goes to the police? Nobody. I'm not going to the police when my friend is represented by an attorney, because how do I know that it's going to get to the proper entity that can do something about it? Yeah, it says he should say, I'm not getting involved. The prosecutor was loud and wrong, just embarrassing. We don't even want to be questioned in defense. We like to mind our business. It says it's bad when the judge has to tell you to stop yelling and stop over questioning the witness. Yesterday, the judge definitely said, stop yelling. You ask the question every which way you can, and there's no other way to ask the question. Yeah, a little stupid. I have a bad habit of saying that. I was like, you can't call people stupid. I was like, but what if they're actually stupid, Ma? A little stupid. This ain't TV. Everybody ain't trying to investigate the case. Right, Vicky Love? We really are not. Says, Terry said, give me one example of a friend going to the cops saying, my friend's innocent. And the cops go, oh, okay, we're sorry. He could go free now. Right. That works never. But maybe that works in this guy's community where he's from. Mr. Lewin, maybe that works for you. It says, real hood people don't mess with the police. That question was dumb to ask a witness. Right. Black folks go to the police to help and wind up in jail all the time. We ain't going. Right. You mind your business. You live longer. Mind your business. You live longer. Yes. Really, and the prosecutor. Oh, good point, Lizette. Lizette, you always have interesting stuff. Lizette said, really, and the prosecutor low-key act the same. Yelling, throwing tantrums in that courtroom. Been there, said yes. Yelling, getting sassy, asking the same question 11 times. Let the police do their jobs. Yo, I'm aggravated with some of the police salaries in California. I read recently, sergeants. There's a sergeant in one of these counties. And it's not Orange County. It's not Beverly Hills. It's not there. It's like a regular county that makes $300 and some thousand. No wonder y'all be beating our asses. Shoot. Y'all, Poor judge is like a kindergarten teacher there. He sure is. Hold on, let me finish this clip. He sure is. Let me go play this.
I knew it was a problem.
It was so bad. They were so mad that he wasn't engaged. Here we go. Will Rocky testify? We now know Rocky will not be testifying. And now this is the segment on.
Do you own a Block 43?
I do not. I took everything except for one magazine.
Let me set this up. So this is a really helpful clip. So what ASAP Luke was saying is that he doesn't own a Glock 43, but he testified he mistakenly bought a magazine for his Glock 42 and left it in Rocky's home. This is important because the state is alleging that there was a Glock 43. I'm sorry, there was Glock 42 ammo left in Rocky's home, and that the gun for that ammo was likely the weapon that was used in this. However, they have no expert that absolutely narrowed it down to that weapon. Here's a clip.
It was a Glock 43 magazine.
Okay. Now, do you own a Glock 43?
I do not.
All right. So why did you have a Glock 43 magazine?
So when I purchased my Glock 42, and I was at the gun shop buying accessories for it, more magazines, I had mistakenly grabbed the Glock 43 magazine. When you're in the store, everything is like right next to each other. So it's this lock section. It's all of them. The 17, 19, all the accessories. They were right next to each other, and I grabbed it mistakenly. I didn't realize until that day that I had mistakenly grabbed it.
What is that?
That's my Black 43 magazine.
Is this magazine ever used?
No.
Can you tell that from looking at the picture?
Personally, I guess, because I own firearms and I own other magazines. Usually it has wear marks on the side of it from going in and out of the pistol or firearm. It's a 6-hour 9mm cartridge. It's mine.
Is that the ammunition that you left at Rocky's house?
Correct, yes.
The one that, ammunition that was contained in that magazine that we just saw?
That's correct.
By the way, going back to the magazine, when you realized it was the wrong one, why didn't you return?
It's a $20 magazine. It would have cost more in gas to go there back and forth.
I love that answer.
Okay.
Excellent answer. All right, guys. So here's what's going on in trial right now. Here we go. Wait, it's supposed to be my face. There we go. So here's what's going on in the courtroom right now. Yes, I am recording from my bed today because I don't feel good. But what's going on right now is they are actually going through the jury instructions, but the judge has ordered that the cameras are off during jury instructions. I don't know why, but that's what the judge has ruled. So therefore, we'll be resuming at 3:30 Central, which is 1:30 California time and 3:30 Central, because that's when, if they're going to call this next witness, that's when that witness is going to take the stand. So 1:30 Pacific, which is 3:30 Central and 4:30 Eastern. Y'all, I've been having fun with you guys. I'm going to miss you when this case is over. Yeah, he does look like a Muppet. What the hell is going on in court? So what it is this. So I'll put the graphic up just so that you can see it. What it is showing us here is that it says at the bottom there, cameras are off for jury instructions per the judge's orders. So yes, Terry, I do have to cover another case. Give me some suggestions. I like some good mess. There's one, of course, Diddy. I'm planning to go to that one. Now, the thing is, though, Diddy will not be televised, more than likely, because it's federal. They don't televise federal cases. But actually, wait a minute before we go. Diddy, I don't know. So Trump just pardoned, basically, he just pardoned Eric Adams, New York City's mayor. Part of the logic was that it was so that he can focus on immigration and getting rid of illegal immigrants. So many people are like, this is signaling that he's likely going to do the same for Diddy. What do you guys think? Do you think he's going to pardon Diddy? I think if he thinks it'll piss off Democrats, he's going to do it across the board. And he knows Democrats don't like assault. We don't like trafficking. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if he basically starts making posts about how Diddy is being railroaded, and he doesn't like the district attorney the U.S. attorney that brought the charges against Diddy. So if he doesn't like you, he will burn your whole house down with you and your mama in it, and your dog and your baby too. True, said, are we leaving? So, Beauty is Me said, Naija in Dubai. It's not a case though. I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think he will pardon Diddy? And for Naija Robinson, I'm worried about her in Dubai. Naija, get your bottom up out of there. You need to leave. The people over in Dubai, they're not about to play with you. Because I saw a clip where Onaija had a cigarette in her hand and she told this man, come over here, I'm going to burn you in your face. That's a crime over there. If that man hasn't done nothing to you, you cannot just say stuff like that. Onaija told us to say no more. That's what happened to Marilyn Mosby. What happened to her? What happened to her, honey? I think she got railroaded. The charges were ridiculous. Onaija told us to say, probably not. You can't even speak loudly in public in Dubai. She's gonna get in trouble. I would love to know the logistics of how she ended in Dubai. What I do believe is there was likely a layover, because there is a layover coming from Pakistan to Dubai. She probably got off that plane, was supposed to go all the way to New York, got off that plane, and that was it. Oh, she wants 100K or more. I believe the jury, okay, Shauna is saying, I believe the jury will take a vote when they get the case, and it'll be unanimous, not guilty. Prosecution didn't prove a thing. That'll be real quick. Let me tell you, let's just think about once this not guilty comes through. I feel sorry for Relly. What y'all think's gonna happen with Relly? First of all, I think he gonna whoop Relly tail. He's not gonna do it because too many eyes are on him, but he gonna have one of his boys whoop that tail. So Beauty is me talk about Anijah said, Anijah need to come right back now. Relly can't go back to Harlem. He can't go back to New York. He probably can't go back to Miami, and that's where he lives with his hooker, this little prostitute girl. There are all kinds of reasonable doubt. Yep, guys. So no, it's just a hot mess. It's a real hot mess. So, all right, guys. So I actually have work to do. So I'm gonna do a little work. I'll be back. I will be back. It'll be 3:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific, 3:30 Eastern, and 4:30. I will see you guys then. And that's when we should have the final witness. If not, they'll conclude. And then Thursday, resume with closing arguments. All right, guys. See y'all shortly.
So we are not in session. We are in session Thursday. Please be here at 9:30. Outside the courtroom doors, 9:30. Is that a problem for anybody? All right. At 9:30, or as close to that time as possible, we'll have you come in and you'll hear the submissions of counsel. As I tell you each time, please keep an open mind. You have not heard everything. You have not begun your deliberations. And please do not look at anything on the internet regarding this case or look at anything in print media. All right, have a good day tomorrow. See you Thursday, 9:30.
All right, guys. Well, no more witnesses. Thank God. No more witnesses. We are tired of the state prosecutor asking people the same question 50, 11 times, not being happy with the answer, and asking what the judge just said is they are all done. They have given the instructions to the jury. There are no more witnesses. The defense has rested. The state has rested. Not tomorrow, which is Wednesday, but Thursday at 9:30, they will resume, 9:30 California time. And that's when there will be closing arguments, y'all. So I will be doing a recap on the channel of the case. I'm going to be pulling some good clips, doing a recap. That should be up
I've asked
tomorrow.
Alex to generate a copy of the jury instructions for each one of you. Remember, 9:30 on Thursday. Mr. Steve, anything for the record?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Tappan, anything for the record?
For the record, no.
Mr. Kozlowiak, anything for the record?
No, Your Honor.
All right, we're off the record. See you Thursday.
It's a record, no.
So what this means is there will likely be a decision either Thursday or Friday, would be my guess. It depends on the closing itself. If the jury gets the case on Thursday early enough, there could be a Thursday decision. If not, I anticipate Friday. This was live. That was live. So court is now officially done for today. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button, and I will see you guys on Thursday. Bye, y'all.